Well, we finally made it to Matthew 19:16. I think we're a little bit more than halfway now. This will be part 40. And as you can see, eye of the needle, first will be like the last. And Jesus is going to be talking about will be crucified. And I think that's the first time that happens in Matthew. So, um, let me see here. Something, I've seen a bright spot on my head. And I've turned off the, okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it off. My lights aren't working with this shirt, and you can see all the discoloration going on my shirt. That's the, so let me see here. If I put that on, that gets rid of it. Okay, so I guess I do need that shiny forehead. Okay, um, 16. Okay, now we have to remember. No, the children were brought up to him or brought to him to lay his hand on, and let's see, I'm just trying to think of what was being said so I know where I remember um, where Jesus is at, because I try to give maps and locations to where he's at when he's teaching some of these, when the text gives us those hints. Then I've got the word young male. Now, the word young male being here is because of what's going to be said in the story below, and let me go down here a little bit. Jesus is going to tell him to go sell your possessions. Notice it's not land. So this young male is still living under his father, and he hasn't a land, and he's not married yet, because if he was married, the father would have given him some of the land. So this is an unmarried male here that he's talking to. So I'm considering it a young male, okay? And he asked them, what good thing, not thing, good things will I do to obtain, not obtain, you can't obtain, you will receive eternal life with Jesus. You can't obtain it, okay? You have to receive it. Oops. Oh, forgot to tune on my software program to see. It's just like right now, I'd like to show the word obtain. I'm supposed to be over here. Okay. Now, let me try to figure out this by showing you this screen. That's got to be adjusted so you can see it. And then obtain. And as you can see, they've got many words for this word. Have is the actual word. Let's see, because if you get over here to the side and scroll down. So yes, the word to receive is here. So again, they could have used that word, but they didn't. So now you know that I didn't put my own word in here. And Jesus told him, he doesn't really need to talk about, is there one who is good? What good thing? What good things? Jesus, there is only one who is good. Good is a earthly reference, okay? I'm and it speaks mainly to the direction of to us on earth, whether we are Let's see what is comfortable to us, what is good. Let's see what they got over here as other words for good. I just want to take a quick peek. Mm, No, it's all got the word good, goodness, kindness, kindly. So I guess, why are you asking me about what is good? What is what? But he's actually asking, what good things will I do to receive eternal life with you? So this is Jesus just making things up that's he didn't ask about. So this was going to get rid of. We're going to get rid of this. If you not wish, but if you want to enter, keep his commandments. And this is Jesus referring not to sin. Okay. Now, why am I getting rid of these? You will not commit murder. You will not commit adultery. You will not steal. You will not bear false witness. Okay. Sorry about that. I couldn't even get to my button, so you didn't see that. But these are all covered in the word commandments. The young male replied, didn't say he's replying to Jesus. He's not really asking. He says, his commandments I have kept. What am I lacking? So it's here that he is actually going against what Jesus just said. Some will think that, well, he's thinking of what am I lacking, meaning what more can I do? But Jesus is just concerned about make sure you don't sin, because if you don't sin, you're really trying to obey our Creator, and obeying everything He says, and you're also respecting and honoring our Creator. But when you see this, what am I lacking? Jesus is going to say, "Come with me." So it's kind of like he's telling them, "Go sell your possessions or give them to the poor, and then follow me." It's not that you'll have treasure in heaven. You don't get treasure, so this is not going to be allowed in the text. Everybody's reward is just to be in heaven. So there's no such thing as a treasure in heaven. That so it's more or less about telling him that now you can come follow with me. What am I lacking? And it's lacking that I'm your king and you should be following me or come with me. Um, so yeah, yeah, because he's selling his possessions. Then he's saying, "Come with me." Okay, now let's see if he does or not. Okay, here's the words "young male" being used as well to define what I added to the text above. He went away, for he owned a lot of land. Now this is counter to how I was saying it was above that to describe what a young male is. A young male isn't working his land until his father gives him the land for being married in there to start bringing up his family. He owned much property. Let's see. I'm going to use the word possessions. For he owned a lot of possessions. He owned many possessions. And since this was the first of the day, I didn't get this one out. And I should have copied that before I got here, but that's part of the morning too. Pretty soon I'll be, the next videos will probably be a little bit smoother. The first one of the day, usually I need a little build up the speed here, because I'm trying to remember everything that was said in the last video, and that was yesterday. And then Jesus said, "Well, truly I say, it's hard for a rich man to enter my kingdom in heaven." This is kind of like double speaking, but the object is, um, because now, okay, because I'm looking for my kingdom. It's my kingdom. I'm going to put this back into the text. I can see why I took it out, but I want to add it back in for the simple fact that I want to, truly I say, this will be a capital S. Don't need these words. It is hard to enter my kingdom in heaven. Not of heaven, in heaven. So I most likely added this word when I was doing it the first time. Okay, now I need to bring this here. And you can see what I'm putting in here is, it's Jesus has said in other places that, only his will enter into heaven to live with him forever. It's um, it it means that very few people on earth will end up in heaven, plain and simple. So don't think that it's not hard to get in, is what I'm putting here, and making sure that Jesus says, well, I don't need the word truly. Get rid of that. Jesus said, could be Jesus taught here, and then it would be not. This needs to be added for the final touch. I'm just trying to read this and go over the text in my head to make sure. Because I'm trying to figure out who he's talking to. Is he talking to this male that just came up. Yeah, a male came. And so I'm trying to see, okay, the children, but then, and he departed. Okay. Then a young male asked him, why didn't I keep the word came then? Hmm. Then a young male, I'd say, not came, but walked up and asked him, gotta make sure the text is that. Let's see, is that, no, it's this one before this one. And now we have, when he departed, young male walked up to him and asked him, okay, then I would need to hit, Jesus said to his disciples, I do need this. Um, and if you're asking me why I am not coloring the word disciples as Jesus' possession, it's because they are following him, but there's one that's not. So it's confusing. It would be confusing that they are all his. So I leave that separate. Jesus said to his disciples, I say it is hard to enter my kingdom in heaven, period. For it is easier for a camel to go through the eye. Okay. Let me see before I do any more to the text here. I say it is hard to enter my kingdom. Do I need the words in heaven? Because everybody knows this, so I don't need to add this, and this can be brought down. It's hard to enter my kingdom, and here I need kingdom like this to actually be correct. And this means that the kingdom is coming from our Creator, has given them his kingdom, but it's his. That's how I color that to show that it is granted to him from our Creator. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich male to enter my kingdom. See, that took care of that rich male there. And okay. Now, I guess I'll tell you about this parable. I've already said it once. I think it was in the last video or the video before. When Jesus is referring that it's hard to enter it, to get into his kingdom, he is relating to it as going through the eye of a needle. Because it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man enter into heaven. A camel would be something a very large animal, okay? And to say it's going to go through the eye of the needle, it is not. Um, is Jesus referring to those as entering his kingdom exactly like a camel? No, but he does know that um, they are a greater uh, person than the ones that are not going to be allowed into heaven. So when Jesus is referring to the camel going through the eye of the needle, it's visually, you can see how hard it is to get to Jesus's kingdom. But the needle is actually a representation of Jesus, and the eye of the needle is representing his, telling them, yes, you're forgiven, you can come into my kingdom. And the pointed end would be, no, you're not going to enter. So you can see that the answer here, this parable, is those that are going to enter into heaven are great to him because they really put forth the effort in their life to obey our Creator. I better put up the time so I can keep an eye on the time. Okay. I asked this. They don't need to be very astonished. Who can be saved? It's not saved, it's lived with you. Or be with you, either or. But the object here is the answer, and by mankind, it is impossible. Um, because he's relating this to our Creator, um, granting Jesus the right to forgive, to enter into his kingdom. He's saying mankind, it is not possible to do it by mankind's way. Okay. Could I put the word secular there? No, it has to specifically be the word mankind. And that is, I'm speaking to those that have this practice with a female goddess. When they read this, they know that I'm speaking to them, or this text is being edited for them. This is impossible because they're onto a female goddess, and that's against the commandments. So now we have, then Peter and James answered, and no, it said Peter answered. I'm putting more different disciples into the text. So we know Peter has what his thoughts are in his mind. I'm and knows how he's onto Jesus, because Jesus in the last video, I believe it was given the title Christ from our Creator, and Jesus knew that only answer could come from our Creator speaking through Peter. So I'm just making sure that other uh, disciples are actually in the conversation. So you can see those are taken out, and we left everything to follow you. So will we be there with you? And then Jesus tells them, this is just not needed. When your Son of Man sits on, when I, your Son of Man, sits on my throne. Jesus speaking third person here. We got to get rid of that third person. There's so many times he doesn't know who he is. They really distort the text. He will also sit upon thrones judging the 12 tribes. See, I removed the word 12 because only 11 are Marmaga. Judas is not going to be there. Okay. So the word 12 is wrong here. I could put 11, but I don't know the full life of the disciples. So I'm just going to say you also will sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes from Israel. The 12, I'm going to put, well, 12 descendants. I guess tribes is about the best word I can use here, meaning the 12 sons and all their descendants. Not left, but leaves their home, or brothers, sisters, fathers. Don't need to worry about farms. For my name, not for name's sake, it's for his name that they are going to leave the family to preach. And this would be, if you're an atheist home and then you come across Jesus, you will go through this, that everybody's going to reject you and your family. So this is what Jesus is pretty much referring to here, that when you start believing in him, then whoever leaves their home, brother and sister, father and mother, or even children, maybe their sons didn't listen to them, for my name, will receive eternal life with me. You can't have this text here. Jesus knows that the greatest reward or is that you will be forgiven for your obedience to our Creator. Yes, got time to hear. And then he's going to go into a parable. And this is where it kind of, there should be more text here to the beginning of this than what you see here. But many who were first will be like the last, will be the last. Let's see, how did they have this? I've got to pull this up. And this is 1930. Sorry for the scrolling, but I got to get to 1930. Okay. But many who were first will be last, and the last first. No, that is not true. And I'm going to explain why. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Jesus is going to explain this, okay? So how could, I know there's going to need to be words added before and after, but I will get to this later because it needs to be, will be like the last. And you're going to see why I'm getting rid of these two words and using the word like. For my kingdom in heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire not laborers, but pruners, because they're coming into the vineyard, okay, in his vineyard. So you can't have the word laborers to be the correct word. They have a specific duty, and that's to prune the vine or to pick, it's to help prune the vine, to clean up the vine to be able to produce more grapes. So And he agreed to the pruners for a silver for the daylight. See, I had needed the word, had the word light on the end of the day because they aren't working at night. And I'm taking this coin and just saying a silver. When you see the other text as I go through, it's just an easy way to keep track of what all these different coins are because um, mankind has done so much to history that you can't trust them to tell you the truth. And saying a word means that it's has more value than this other word in money. So I'm just using silver because there's going to be other proverbs. Example, a woman is going to be looking for a coin that she has lost and will rejoice because that coin is like this piece of silver. It's very valuable. It's the work that you're doing, you're rewarded for this all daylight work here. Went out early in the morning, and the silver is even to that person. Yes, I will work for a silver, you know. So that's why I'm putting different words instead of using these words here. Then he also went not out about, he went out in the third hour and saw others, not standing by or whatever. He just saw others and said to them, go prune my vein, says, go to my vineyard, but go prune my vineyard, and whatever is right, I will give you. And they went to his vineyard. And then again in the 6th hour and the 9th hour, he said the same to others, not did the other to others, but said the same to others. Here, on the 11th hour, he found others and asked them. All these little added words aren't needed, but I did need to get to add light on the end of the daylight, so Jesus understands what a day is and what daylight is. And they answered, because he has hired. Well, I'm trying to. Okay, yes, it's the workers are asking him. Okay, because no one has hired us. He said to them, "Go to my vineyard and prune." When sunset had come, this would have been at the end of the day because these hours, like I was telling you before, there's 12 hours in a day, whether it's summer solstice or winter time, they divided it into 12. And this is going to be part of the key. The owner said to his foreman, which would be, I could have used head servant, call my pruners and I will pay them their wages. And he began with the last to the first. Now, here, does Jesus have a special attendant around him in heaven? Okay. People might have just skipped over that when they read this, but to me, this verse is saying that Jesus is our king, and here he's saying he has a foreman, or this, he's comparing heaven to this. So this is the foreman. So he is going to have people closer to him, just like as a regular king does here on earth, because that's how we are to relate what a kingdom is. That I wouldn't say he's got advisors. I wouldn't say he's got counselors, but he would have those that would be his servants, his personal servants to do things. Say he needs to call one of us out there in his kingdom to come to him. This would be his personal servant. So we know that now we know that those are going to be around Jesus. My thoughts real quick would be like Noah, Moses. Anyways, and he began with the first and the last. And I need to check the time. Okay. Um, uh, and as each, because it's already saying he's going to begin with the last to the first, so it doesn't need to have this text here. As each one received a silver, the first thought they would receive more. See, all these little words don't need to be added for the verse to be clearly said. The first thought they would receive more, but they received 1 silver as well. And as they received it, they questioned the owner. Again, these words here don't need to be said because we know that what it's like out there in the vineyard. They're working with no shade in the sunlight. So yes, so they said, the last have worked but 1 hour, and you have made us equal to them, yet we pruned all daylight. Jesus said to them, I am doing you no wrong, for you did agree with me for a silver. Now, if we come down to this verse here, Jesus wouldn't have said, Jesus is not saying you can take yours and go your way in heaven. So, because he's comparing it to heaven. So, this is not correct. Jesus would not say that. He would continue with what he was just saying. For I wanted to give, not wish, I wanted to give the last the same as you. And it is not lawful to wish my own. This is just, Jesus does not give out sarcastic statements. So that's just going to be gone. Thus, the last will be paid as the first. And this is what I was saying, what Jesus was going to do. And that is everyone's reward is to enter into heaven. That's the payment that you're receiving for obeying our Creator. Now, I want to come, because that's, I want to end the video here. But this is very important when it says, and they said the last have worked but 1 hour. And Jesus did allow them to enter into heaven. So when you look at daylight as the length of the time of your life, 1/12 of that lifetime, you must obey our Creator. Jesus just got done explaining how hard it is to enter into heaven. Jesus also says later that some will come up to me and, Lord, Lord, let me in. He's going to say, I don't know you. You didn't work that 1 hour of your life. This is a very good example to understand that when you live your life and you're a non-believer, you have to understand that the sooner you repent this 1 hour is what you're looking for in the rest of your life from that point on, that you should be at least that 1 hour long compared to your lifetime. So that's very important what Jesus says here. And that would have been missed by a lot of people. So I'm here to tell you the truth. So I think I need to, yeah, good.